Hello.
Talk therapy. Sister, let's talk. Get ready for real, raw, and relevant information. We don't hold back. From ministry, life, marriage, and everything in between. So, hold on. Here are your hostesses, Tara and Melody. Talk therapy. Sister, let's talk.
All right. It's time for talk therapy. I am excited tonight. Wow, you guys. Listen. It is we missed you guys for the last few weeks. Um and we're back. It's talk therapy. I am your host, Tara T. Stallings.
And I am co-host Melody Manning.
All right, guys. Listen, as you see, it's a year in review. So before we get started, go ahead on and share, make a watch party, invite friends in because this is going to be really good. It's been a year, Melody. Can you believe it's been an entire year since we first started the online talk show, Talk Therapy?
I know, Tara, that year went by really, really fast to me. When I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute, it has been a year since we started talk therapy. So it went by fast. And I think in that year we shared a lot of valuable information in that year for our listeners. A lot of information on a wide range of subjects. We talked about mental health. We had relationship talks. We had basically some therapy sessions. We've talked about finances. We've talked about education. We've talked about religion. We've talked about politics. We've talked about so many things in the course of that year. And I'm excited for what 2021 has to bring also.
Yes. So before we get started, you guys, we want to thank everyone that's been following us, that's been joining us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. for Talk Therapy. And for our new listeners, we want to thank you guys for joining us, and we anticipate you staying with us and following us. So we want to kind of change up a little bit tonight because it is a new year. It's a new year. It is 2021. So we're going to reintroduce ourselves. So, Melody, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself to our current listeners and our new listeners.
Okay. Well, of course, my name is Melody Manning. I am a certified life coach with certifications in the area of mental health and spiritual coach. I also am a empowerment coach and a transformation coach. And I'd like to kind of tell. Sometimes people ask, "Well, what is a life coach?" They don't understand, especially when it comes to when I say I am a mental health coach, because I'm a coach, not a therapy. So I don't cross certain lines when I'm coaching mental health that I will recommend out. If we need to go past the coaching, the coaching phase of mental health with that. And I made some notes, so if you see me looking down, I made some notes because I want to be able to make sure everybody kind of understands exactly what I do and who I am. So when it comes to mental coaching, it's just to help the clients to envision a life that they want and how to handle if they have a diagnosed illness. So to work with a mental health coach, no, You don't have to have, per se, a diagnosed illness, because everything about you, your mental health makes up everything about you. So I work in all areas with that. And what we do is what I do, I help you identify, I help you clarify, and help you come up with a workable plan for you individually as to how to cope with something and how to achieve goals and some of your plans that you have for your life. Because even if you are seeing a therapist or whatnot, sometimes you need that structure as far as being on task, someone to be accountable for with what you're trying to achieve. So that's what I do in the mental health with it. As far as my empowerment side of it, I work with women that are kind of tired of being tired and need that accountability person in their life, someone that can relate to them as far as making transitions at no matter what point you are in life, be it divorce, dealing with adult children, dealing with relationships, career changes, so many things, and just that motivation to make a change, to see what you want, to see your vision manifest. So that's where I am, and those are part of the services that I offer um, from my practice, which is inspired by Melody.
Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. For you guys, I am Tara T. Stallings. I am a master level counselor. I am a master certified life coach, transformational coach, speaker, author, and a few other things I can't remember. I have a lot of certifications, but it's okay. And I won't repeat a lot of things that Melody does. I do the same thing. I work with clients, I work with individuals, youth, couples. I do relationships. I do spiritual counseling. Um, I do transformational strategy counseling and coaching. So yeah, and I won't repeat because, like I said, a lot of things that I do, that Melody does, I do the same things, and they all kind of encompasses it all. Inspiring. I'm a speaker, also a transformational speaker. So I just, look, listen. We're going to be talking about this year end, and we just want to let you guys know what we do and who we are. We're not just two beautiful Black women that come on live every Tuesday, but we actually offer some services that are helpful to the community, to individuals, to couples, in different areas of their life. So my motto is I help you rediscover, revive, and relaunch your life. If you can change if you want change, you have to change everything in your life. And it starts with your emotions. So let's get right into this year in review, Melody. You stated earlier that we talk about just about everything. Everything, every subject we kind of touched on, from politics to religion to relationships to just a plethora of and a plethora of topics, and even we shared a lot about African American women collaborating, because it's such a strong topic. It's such a topic that most people say that even just African Americans, Black folks, can't work together, and Black women. Um, And I know we have proved that to be wrong. So I'm excited about that. So let's get back. We talked about a year in review. What's going to happen? What can our viewers expect from talk therapy in the next coming year? What's your vision for 2021?
Well, 2020 to me, and I say this across the board, we knew some things, but in 2020 we actually experienced it. And I think me and you had a discussion briefly on this the other day. We were aware that things could, attack us. There could be illnesses. We knew all that. We knew that you have to watch your finances. We knew that there may be a change of time, but 2020, we actually got to experience it. And we experienced it, without a warning or anything. It just like it just, with the COVID situation, it just came in and it just kind of consumed us all, because no one was, I think, let me say, unaffected by it. In some type of way, we were all affected or have been affected by COVID 19. So 2020 was a year of lessons and experiencing those lessons. 2021 to me is going to be, what are you going to do with what you learned from 2020? So, as we talked about a broad range of things in 2020 about relationships, we talked about mental health, medical health, um, our physical health. We talked about a bunch of things, but what are you going to do with it in 2021? How are you going to apply those lessons? So I think this year we're going to focus on what we learned about relationships and how are we going to make that change, and how we're going to actually, what are we going to implement now that we know this? Because 2020 was a year of clear vision. You hear a lot of people saying, oh, 2020 was, I'm over it, I'm tired of it, it was a bad year. But no, it really wasn't a bad year. We learned some stuff, we saw some stuff. And again, I'm gonna say it, this year 2021 is going to be, what are you going to do with what you experienced in 2020? How are you now going to move forward with knowing that your finances are not really guaranteed? What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? Our health, our lives are not guaranteed. We knew all of that, but we had so much death and stuff that took place in 20. What are you going to do with that? How are you going to prepare for that? What changes? So 2021 to me is now, okay, this is what you need to do to implement certain things in your life to be able to move forward.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I'm gonna piggyback. I hear so many people say, "Oh, 2021 was a horrible year," and I was just listening to a person earlier this week, and they were saying, at the beginning of 2020, people were saying, clear vision, you're gonna have 2020 vision, and then I heard someone say, "Well, they got that wrong. It wasn't a year of clear vision." But I have to agree with you. For many people,
Mhm.
for many people, it was a year that brought them into refocus, that they acquired clearer vision on various aspects of their personhood, their spirituality, their relationships, their mental health, their physical health, their family, what was important to them. So they did, acquire a clearer view and perspective on those different areas of their life. While others did not, because they took it as a time of confinement, control, and they never conformed to pivot during the time. They were trying to do the same thing with a different formula, in a different formula. So they were not able to see clear. One thing I know about having clear vision, I don't care how good you can see, if the lenses that you're looking through are dirty. I lost mail. If the lenses that you're looking through are dirty or they are foggy and they have fingerprints on them, they have debris on them, you will not be able to see clear. And what happened is many people, vision was changed, but the lens they were looking through were still dirty. They were still in 2019. I hope we get Mel back on. I think she got knocked off for a second. So for me, I saw clearly. I'm seeing clear. There she is. I'm seeing clearly. And for 2021, you know, I solidified my plan, my purpose, my goals in 2020. 2021, I'm dominating. I'm not, getting started. I got started in 21. I got the ball rolling. Got everything formulated. But now it's time to take it, and it's time to live and dominate and control in the areas that I have been doing. And that's what I'm doing. That's not what I'm going to do. I already started. So for me, 2021 is a time of domination, to dominate. I've given, the word of God said He's given us authority and dominion. So I have authority, and now I'm gonna have dominion over the things that I am purposed to. So for me, 2021, I am ready. I am on fire. I'm motivated and inspired to dominate in every area of my life. Every area of my life. So I truly believe, and I said this for a few years, when the beginning of the year comes, everybody makes New Year's resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody makes New Year's resolution that they never see usually come to fruition. Some people do. But I say this for the people that say, oh, 2021 was horrible. 2020 was horrible. 2021 has to be better. Well, I say this to you. It won't be better than it was in 19, in 18, or in 17 if you don't change your focus. Because two things happen, I've noticed, because you always have two groups of people. You have those people that's going to level up, and you have those people that's going to level down. And you have to choose which group you're going to be in. And it all depends on your perception and your plan. Your perception and your plan. Because you can have a great perception, but if you don't have a plan, in 2021, you're going to be singing the same song that you sang in 19 and 18 and 17 and 16, and your life won't change. So in 2021, to me, I'm dominating, and I promise you, I'm there. I'm there. So I'm excited. I am. I'm excited. Melody. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, because I see a lot of things already for 2021 that I'm really excited about. And you're talking about how everybody's planning the vision boards, and I know this may be a little bit off from our year-end review, but a lot of people don't see their visions manifest because their vision is not, how can I say this? Their vision is not realistic. I guess I'm hoping I'm saying this correct, politically correct. Because one, they're trying to bite off more than they can actually chew at one time. So when we make those vision boards, we got 10, 15, 20 things on this big pretty board, the big pretty house, the big pretty car. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna have that Coca-Cola bottle. I'm leaving that 2 liter bottle alone. You know, I'm leveling up here. My business is gonna be here, but you haven't taken each one of those and thought about what it's going to take to get to them.
Mhm.
Because you got to have a plan to get to them. You just can't wish them here. You know, you've got to have some type of action plan to do it. And it frustrates people. And that's why a lot of people don't make it past January 30th with their
Yes.
vision boards.
Yeah.
The vision boards end up in the back of the closet or stuck behind the dresser or whatnot because they did the board. They saw it. I'm not saying they didn't see it. They saw it, but they didn't plan for it.
Yeah.
You can't want that $1 million house and you only making $9 an hour. You
That's a dream board. That's not a
That's a
vision.
dream board. The first step, I'm not saying you can't ever have that $1 million house, but you got to figure out, okay, how am I get my income up so I
Mhm.
can get that $1 million house? Well, I want that Maybach, and you don't even have a job, but you want to drive the Maybach before 2022 come in.
Mhm.
We have to be realistic in
Yeah.
things and break things down so that we can get where we need to be. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible that it can't happen in a year, because yeah, it can happen in a year.
Yes, you can.
It really can. But you still have to have something to work with. Because I used to say this all the time. You got to give God something to work with. He's
Mhm.
in the miracle working business, but we also have to give him something to work with when
Mhm.
we're doing things. People always say, well, you take one step, he'll make another step for you. You got to put something into it. You got to start planning, break those down into different areas and take it step by step. That way you'll have more longevity with it. And January 30th, that pretty vision board won't be in the back of the closet or behind the dresser or maybe even in the trash can.
Yes. 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 I totally agree with you. I say too often people create dream boards and not vision boards, and it's okay to have a dream board. But even in your vision board, you have to have um, some measurable goals to reach your vision. And most people they omit the planning period. So they omit the planning period in every aspect of life. You have so many men and women, I'm not going to just say women, that are looking for spouses. They're ready, they're looking for a spouse. I hear men say, "We're all the good women," and I hear women say, "We're all the good men." But then, even in that, you have to plan for it. You have to plan for, well, okay, I want a wife or I want a husband. So what does that look like? How are you planning before you meet that person? What do you have in place emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually? So when you meet that person, you already have a plan for either connecting or you know who you want to connect with and how, what the finances are going to be like, what your health, a lot of times people don't put all of those aspects in. You have 25-year-olds that are having massive heart attacks,
Mm-hmm.
so we have to put all of those aspects in our life before we see our vision or our dream board come to fruition. We have to go through you have to plan and then you have to process. And most time people don't want to plan and they definitely don't want to process. And I think 2020 was a year for many people of processing.
Mm.
It's a year of processing because a lot of times, what I noticed is, what I'm going to speak from my experience, I had planned a lot of things. I had a lot of plans that if 2020 didn't happen the way that it happened, I wouldn't process through it. I wouldn't have processed, had the time, the mindset, the finances to process so that now in 2021, I can live in my vision and increase it. But there's always a plan and then there's a process.
Mm.
And the word of God says, write the vision and make it plain. Most people don't want to plan it out. They don't want to write it out. They want to talk it out, or it's in my head. In counseling, this is one thing that they teach us. If it isn't written down, it didn't happen. Period. If you don't write it down, it's not real. It did not happen. I don't care who said it. If you even heard them say it, if it's not written, it's not real. It didn't happen. So we have to write things down that we want. Take it from our head to put it on paper. That's the first step. Most people don't want to take it from their head and put it on paper because that takes too much time. And then from paper, the necessary steps to process the plan, because you have to process the plan before the plan ever comes to fruition. And we don't do that. So, so for a lot of people, like myself, it was a lot of processing. I was stretched. I was stretched, but it was great for me. It was great. It was great for me. It was and I call it the pandemic. The pandemic was a great plan for me. So yeah. But we're not gonna go there tonight.
Huh?
I said, but we're not going there tonight.
2020 was, it was one of those it was one of those years, but it did have its good outcomes as well. And like I said, we did talk about a lot in 2020. We talked about relationships a lot, and those seem to be our shows with the most views. The relationships.
Yes, yes.
We talked about, those significant others and whatnot. We talked about, being that Proverbs 31 woman. We talked about a good bit of different things. And this year, I think, again, we're going to be focusing on what are you going to do. So if you do have that good relationship, that relationship that's worth standing there for, how do you do that? What does that look like? You know, what does being healthy look like? What does having that ultimate relationship with God, what does it look like? That's what we're gonna be talking about more of, not being able to recognize it, but how do you live in it? How do you function in it? How to keep what you got, you know, in certain instances, because sometimes, even when you find yourself in relationships and those relationships are going well, you always have to have a tune up in your relationships, that time where you need to really communicate with each other, and communication is very vital. Good communication. All right, what does that look like? So those are just going to be some of the different things that we're going to talk about what does it look like?
Yeah. Processing it. Let's process this thing. Let's look. It's time to
Thrive.
yes. I was going to use an urban word, it's time to either get off
Mm-hmm.
hot. Say you need to use the bathroom or get off that pot. And that's funny, but so often it's people find it's convenient. It's more convenient to complain about things and situations versus actually putting in the work and processing it to change. You cannot change something effectively before you change your mindset, your beliefs, your perceptions, your emotions around it. We live in a microwave society. And most people, even people that are older, our age and older, they want it yesterday. They don't want to go through anything. And for you to have something worth having, it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you either financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, educationally. It's going to cost you something. And most people, I have noticed, they don't want to pay the cost. They want to come in, as the church folks say, from the east side of the gate. You can't come in from the fish gate. You can't come in from the wrong side of it. You got to come in from the front. You can't slip in from the east gate. You got to come in from the front and process your way to the place of overflow. And most people don't want to do that because it's going to cost them something. It's going to cost them something. Everybody wants to be rich, famous, fine in 4 weeks. They want to do it in 4 weeks. And they're not able to sustain it. You can get it, but you're not able to sustain it because you haven't processed it. You haven't paid a price for it. And anything worth having and keeping is going to cost you something. I'm going to give you an example. If you go and you purchase a car for $2,500, little hoop, something to get you around. You may be appreciative of that car, may have a little dents on it, a little rust on it, maybe a little old, few miles on it. You're not going to take as much care of that $2,500 car as you would take care of an $80,000 car or a $100,000 car, because that $100,000 car is going to cost you more. So you're not going to rub up against it any kind of way. You're not going to eat any kind of food in it. You're not going to do certain things in that car. Matter of fact, when you go to the store, you're going to take up 2 parking spaces. And you might park at the back because you don't want anybody to open their car door and hit your car. Because it costs you more. So you'll be able to sacrifice walking. Instead of parking in the front of the store, you will park in the back because you're going to take care of it. That $2,500 car, you may never wash it. You don't care who scratches it up. You might ride in the mud in it. You'll eat anything, anything you'll do with that car because it didn't cost you the same amount. when something costs you something, you take it serious.
Mhm.
Most relationships, they don't take the relationship serious until it's costing them loneliness.
True.
They don't take the relationship serious until it's costing them loneliness. They don't take their finances seriously until they have a bad credit score. They're negative in their accounts and they can't buy anything on credit. That's when they start taking their finances serious.
Mm.
So we really have to be mindful of the things that we say we want 2020 and what we're willing to process through and pay the price to achieve or gain.
That and that's so very true. We do tend to see the end. We see the end, but we kind of ignore what it takes to get to the end, when in all actuality you should see the end and then start working back from what you see, not just
Yes,
seeing
ma'am.
the end and not seeing the process of it.
Yes.
See the
Yes.
end and work backwards from
Mm-hmm.
what you see at the
Yep.
end, because
Yep.
there is a process to getting to what you want. And it's, and you say this, and I don't know why it came to me, and this is what I was visualizing. A woman that's pregnant and wanting to birth a baby. Most of the time, women, we can see that baby in our arms. We smell that baby before we have that physical baby that we can touch. We're already anticipating that baby and stuff. But the journey to get that baby here, there's a process. We have to get to where we're comfortable with being uncomfortable to get where we want to get. And a woman that's pregnant, we're comfortable in our bodies, but as our bodies change and we're now home to that infant that's growing in us, we change our eating during that time. Our hormones are all over the place. We become more sensitive during that time and stuff. And we want that baby here so bad that when it's time for delivery, delivery is not a pretty thing. You know, a woman, I don't care how much, because let me say this, when I had my son, the day before I was in Sharon Freeman chair, my hair was just as pretty, and my natural straight hair was not quite as long as my locks, but it was long. She had done wadded my hair up. I was pretty and everything ready to go check in the next morning to deliver my son. But honey, when I got there and contractions started hitting, I didn't care what I looked like. I didn't care about a curl. I didn't care if my lips was chapped or nothing. I knew I wanted him here, but I didn't care because I was comfortable being uncomfortable to get him here. And I had to go through that process of that pain. I had to push when I didn't want to push. I was a little snappy to my husband and whatnot. I didn't want to be bothered because I was on a mission. I just needed to get him here so I can have a little relief. So even when we see that end result, you gotta want it bad enough to be
Mm.
comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's the part where we miss out a lot. We don't want to do the hard work that it takes to get to that end result. So if you're seeing that mansion and you don't figured out and worked out your finances, you may have to tell some friends no. You may not be able to go out to eat for a little while just so you can get to that end result.
Yep.
We have a problem with wanting to do that because we want what we want when we want it, how we want it. But anything worth, you're going to have to labor through some stuff. You're going to have to make some changes to get to the vision that you have?
Definitely. Definitely. Yes. I, so often I say this: you're gonna sacrifice. Nobody wants to sacrifice, but you're going to sacrifice. You're either going to sacrifice now and live the life that you want to live, or you sacrifice at the end of your life with regrets.
Mhm.
So you sacrifice either way. So you may as well go ahead and sacrifice now and live the life that you've always seen yourself living. If it's business, it's relationships, whether it's health, um, your spiritual life. If that life, you may as well sacrifice now so that you can live the good life, a life of peace and wholeness and prosperity, versus getting to your older ages and you still have to sacrifice your peace, your wholeness, and you gonna live in poverty. So sacrifice now. So when you get older, you don't have to sacrifice. Or if you're older now, start now. Start now. You can reverse it. You can change as long as you wake up and your feet hit the ground and you're not in the coffin. You got another chance to change. But you have to be willing to plan and process, period. Plan it and process it and sacrifice. You have to. You have to. Um, you know, this is a sacrifice for Melody and I to come on Tuesday, even though we love talking because we can get on the telephone and talk for hours. Look, if y'all can listen to our conversations, our talk show over the telephone, wow, it'll blow your mind. But Facebook shut us down, so can't. So, but it's a sacrifice because really tonight, to be honest, if I can just be honest, I did not want to come on tonight. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got so many things I need to do. But we said we were going to come back on because we took those 3 weeks off for Christmas. And then this is our year. We've been here a year. We've been coming on every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Minus a few Tuesdays for technical difficulties or whatever. But we came on, and it's a sacrifice. And we're not just here because we want to be on Facebook. Because we can go on Facebook anytime from our telephones. We can do that. We're doing it because we see that there is a need. There is a need in the different areas of people's individual lives that nobody's talking about. Nobody's addressing. Nobody's talking. Nobody's giving a solution to the problems. And our attempt is to address the issue. And then let's not talk about the problem. Let's talk about the solutions to the problem. What we need to do to fix it.
Let's do it. One of our goals is to do it in a real way. Because now we could get on here and we can talk. We can talk medical, but let's talk in a lay form so that everyone can get it. And the overall thing is to just communicate with someone. And to me, my goal is if you reach just one person, that it's okay to live different than what you're used to. It's okay to be you and to stand, to stand out and make that change, because you're not only just making the change for yourself, you're making the change for the generations that's going to come from you.
Yes.
So those are the important things as to why we do what we do and why we share what we share. Because it's not about us, but it's just to make sure that everybody know it's okay to be you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to take a stand for you. And it's okay to be different, you know. Sometimes what people call different is good.
Yeah.
And then we've got generations that we have that's coming from us that we want to leave something different from them. Break some curses. You know, you just may be that generational curse breaker in your family. Because some people just never heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Some things. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's
Definitely.
what we're here for. And that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And this year we're going to really focus on solutions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're probably gonna have more guests on because I don't know if a lot of you guys followed us the other Monday we had meet the coaches. So look out for meet the coaches. We're gonna have some discussions with the coaches, the consultants, the counselors. That's a part of Destiny Life Management. Even though each person has their own individual business. They're has their own individual business. They have collaborated with Destiny Life Management. So we're going to be talking about coaches and go into depth so that especially, let me just say that, especially the African American community, the Black community, the Hispanic community can gain a good understanding on mental health, emotional health, financial health, business health, spiritual health, so that you can get a good understanding on, look, if something is not working in your life, let me just listen, Linda, listen. Listen, Linda, listen. If something or some things are not working in your life, whether it's your finance, your relationships, your attitude, your way of thinking, whatever it is, and you cannot seem to fix it, you find yourself repeating the same patterns, the same cycles, you may need to go and see either a professional counselor or a life coach. Now, life coaches do a lot of things. You heard Melody. Mental health life coach does not mean it's a therapist. And sometimes you may need a therapist. And sometimes you may be, I say this, every issue is not diagnosable. It just may be coachable.
Mm-hmm.
Every issue that you have is not diagnosable, but it just may be coachable. But you need someone that's trained properly. Let me say that again. That's trained properly for your specific issue or issues that can help you navigate, process through it, heal from it, and give you the tools to manage your life. It's okay. Especially in the African American community, we have been taught God is going to fix it. Just give it to God and God is going to fix it. Okay? Let me if you actually give it to him, he will fix it. Most people don't give it to him. They complain to him. let me just say that part. The second part is just pray about it and let God work it out. Well, most people don't pray about it. because they don't know how to pray, and they're not consistent in their prayers when they pray, so they never see God work it out. And when they pray, it's a one-way conversation. They never wait to hear the instructions. So as it relates to your life, if you find yourself there, I'm not telling you not to pray, and I'm not telling you that God won't work it out, but he may be working it out through a counselor, and maybe your help. He may be working it out through a life coach. That may be your help. That may be the help that you're looking for. If you're okay with taking medication for a headache, for your diabetes, for your high blood pressure, going to the doctor that you didn't pray about before you went to go. You didn't seek God about that. And you're okay with taking that medicine. Why are you not okay with going to get some emotional, behavioral, financial, healthy, nutritional help from someone that God has given wisdom to, insight, understanding, so that you can live a life full, not of contentment, but full of purpose, happiness, and the life you've always wanted to live. It's real simple. Real simple. Especially in our community. Especially. And I'm just gonna look, I'm gonna plug this. The most of the clients that I work with, they don't look like me. Most of my clients, they don't look like me. And you know why they don't look like me? Because we have been trained as African American Black folks not to go get some help. You don't tell all those people your business. Or it's something wrong with you if you go to get some mental health help or some counseling or therapy or coaching. There's something wrong with you. Newsflash, the reason you're behaving the way that you're behaving, there's something wrong. It's something wrong. Be smart enough to go recognize, hey, I keep making the same chaotic decisions. I keep making the same mistake. What do I need to do to make a different choice, change my mindset? So we're going to be talking about that. The solutions. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to say it's okay to get help for your emotions. It's okay to get help for your spiritual walk. Go to your pastor. Pray. If you still can't get what you need, pray and ask God to lead you to the right person. It may lead you to one of us, because we teach and coach spirituality. Not religion. Not religion. Not occulted. Now some of that other stuff y'all into, I ain't not gonna go there tonight. But we help you navigate. We don't give advice. We help. You have the answers to all your questions. We just help you pull them out of you so you can live that life that you've always seen yourself living. Mel, look, I'm done.
And
Look.
I think, one thing with African Americans is we put that, when we say mental health, go see someone. A lot of people think like, oh, something's wrong, something's not right with them. Yes, something may not be headed the way that you want, but we need to learn how to change our language and
Mhm.
our thoughts about seeking assistance. Um, to me, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in yourself when you come and you seek the assistance that you need, be it from a counselor or be it from a coach. You're investing in yourself. Now, we invest in self help books. We'll go buy a self help book. A lot of us got a whole shelf of self help books and hadn't done anything with them yet, but we got them.
Right.
We were in when we were making that purchase, we were investing in ourselves. We'll invest in going to buy that weave that we want. We'll invest in buying the sneakers that we want. But seeking the assistance that you need to make a lifestyle change, a lifelong change, is an investment in yourself. You're investing in your health. You're investing in your happiness. You're investing in your total state of mind. It's an investment, and that's what we have to see it as. And we need to change our language when we're talking about seeking assistance. You know, you're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
And when you're investing in yourself, you tend to want to, you're going to be a little different about it, because unlike that book, you have the option of, reading a page or two of, and you can stick it on the shelf. That book is not going to be like, okay, well, why you didn't do this week and this was your homework. you know the type of things that we do when we're talking, when you with our clients. If if we give you an assignment or something to do, we expect you to do it, because when you sign the contract with us, you're in a mindset that, hey, I'm tired of being tired. What I've been doing all along is not working, so I've got to make a change. Let me seek someone who can help me make this change and give me the steps, and we come up with a formula that works for me. So we're there for the accountability. That's why one of the main things, change your language about seeking help. Change your language when you're dealing with your children, because we don't want to raise another generation that may be suffering when all it could take is just going to sit down in somebody's chair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it. Real
We
simple.
got to learn a new language. We've got to retrain ourselves on it.
Yeah. I want to say this. I'm glad you said this before we wrap up. There's a difference. Everybody lumps a counselor, therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist in the same category. And it's totally different. Totally different. Psychiatrists, some of them can counsel, but they just give you medication from what your therapist has, your psychotherapist has diagnosed you with. And then you have different type of counselors, therapists that are specialized in different areas. So please be mindful and research. Stop wanting to take a pop pill and think it's gonna be okay, because it's not. You gotta do the work. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. So listen, you guys, this is talk therapy. We've talked about, look, we did a little bit on the year-end review and what we talked about, what we shared last year. But listen, you guys, get ready. What TD Jakes used to say, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Because we have some great shows ahead. So we're gonna have some guests on, and just look out for a lot of the other things that we're gonna be doing together and collectively and individually. Melody and I, she has some great things coming up. I have some great things coming up. Some more things coming. So look out for us. You can follow me on social media, at on any platform at Let's Talk Tara. That's at Let's Talk Tara. And now you can follow me on Clubhouse if you're on Clubhouse, because you know it's hard to get on Clubhouse. And Coach Tara Talks. That's the Clubhouse at Coach Tara Talk. And Melody, how can they find you?
All of my handles are inspired by Melody. That's my Facebook, Instagram, inspired by Melody. I am also on Clubhouse. I'm on Clubhouse as inspired by Mel. So yeah, we've got some exciting things going on this year. So just follow us, and join on Clubhouse, because we're gonna have some stuff coming up on Clubhouse also. So I'm
Yes.
excited for
Yes,
2021.
I love Clubhouse. I love it, you guys. All right, you guys. This has it's Tuesday. It's January the 5th. And let me just say to my friend Nikki Johnson, happy birthday. It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday, Nikki.
We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to go follow us. Share, 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 share. Make a watch page. Thank you guys. See you next week.